Story 1. Entitled woman tries to get family evicted and it backfires. My boyfriend just told me this story and I thought it belonged here. When he was 14, he was living with his mom and sister on a housing estate. It was summer and he liked a bit of light in his upstairs bedroom, so he left the curtains open at all times. That included when he was getting dressed and after having a shower, so if you purposely stared at his window, you could only see him from the waist up. Well, their neighbor did not like that one bit. She was pounding on their door, yelling at my mother-in-law that her son was a disgrace, hanging around always naked and exposing himself to her daughter, same age as him. Told her he had every right to do whatever he wanted in his bedroom, and if they didn't want to see him, all they needed to do was to not look. A couple of days went by, and lo and behold, the police show up at their door. Turns out the neighbor had been filming and taking pictures of my boyfriend to show to the housing police as evidence of his wrongdoing to get them kicked out. Except that the housing office called the police on her for taking pictures and videos of an underage kid and kicked her and her family out. Just mess around and find out. That's just the whole definition right there. It's just putting yourself into other people's business. It's having to do this and you think you're being offended. You're going out of your way to be offended. Just don't look there. And this is her being offended. It doesn't mention anything about the daughter even being aware of his behavior at all. Story 2. Was told to actually read the policy. So I did. I work for an office and we have an 8-week busy season with mandatory overtime, 12 to 14 hours a day. During this time, the company agrees to reimburse us for dinner, up to $13 a meal. We just have to submit a claim without receipts at the end of the busy season. Food options around my work aren't great, so I usually brought my dinner from home. But sometimes I was too tired to cook after a long day, so out of the 8 weeks, I purchased maybe 10 meals. 3 of those meals I spent $13.50, going 50 cents over the limit, and this resulted in a whopping $1.50 overage, which my manager said was no big deal, and that I could include on my expense claim. He signed off on it and everything. A few days after I submitted my report, head office emailed me saying they rejected my expense claim and that I could resubmit after I removed the $1.50 overage. I wrote back saying my manager was fine with the $1.50 overage and even signed off on it, and they responded by telling me that they do not allow overages under any circumstances, that the $1.50 must be removed or they wouldn't approve any of my meal expenses. They ended their email with the advice that I should actually read the company policy next time. Fine, they were right and I was wrong. So I decided to read the policy very thoroughly before redoing my expense claim. Yes, the policy clearly stated a $13 maximum on purchased meals. Oh, and what's this? The policy also allows a $10 per diem for meals you bring from home. I very happily removed the $1.50 overage and added an additional $300 for the 30 meals I brought from home. I should read the company policy more often. This has become something very common with a lot of employees really, fighting back against really bad company policies. Read the company policy. Know what it says and make yourself aware, because you just might run across something like this. How many people want to bet that the company changed their per diem policy after this happened? Story 3. I won from scratch tickets tipped to me, and they threatened to sue me if I don't give it back. I worked as head bartender for a local restaurant for a number of years, and there was a regular customer who was there very frequently. I interacted with this customer frequently. They tipped exclusively in scratch tickets and specifically called to ask for my schedule, asked me out on multiple occasions, etc. Probably about 40 years my senior. If you've ever watched The Good Place, this guy was IRL Brent. I won something from the scratch ticket that wasn't $5 or $10. The final amount after taxes was about 3 months' salary for me, and I was making good money. I specifically didn't tell the customer not because I thought they would want it, but because I didn't want them feeling like I owed them something or that I should be thankful towards them. I did tell a coworker, and it got to him through the grapevine. The next time I came in, he congratulated me and asked how we wanted to split it. I sternly told him that it was my tip, and long story short, he went to my manager who took his side. I quit, had been planning to anyway since I'm about to finish school. My manager gave this guy my email. I'm curious on the legality of this too. And he, customer, emailed me saying that if I didn't agree to give him 50%, he'd take legal action. Do I need to worry about taking his threats seriously? Is there anything I can do or should do to protect myself? I'm assuming this is a bluff, but I want to have my bases covered. Too long didn't read? Me drink lady. Mean man who buys many drinks gives me scratchy papers instead of green paper for many days. One day Scratchy says I get a lot of green paper, but man no like this when he hears because he wants some of green paper too. Me says no, green mine, so he says he will take swift and immediate legal action if I do not comply. I don't need to comply, right? I think this guy is probably working on the assumption that this server wants to avoid a costly legal battle and just split the money. And also, if you win the lottery, don't tell anyone. At least nobody that you don't completely trust. You really got to keep that stuff secret if you want to really maximize how you're going to use that money. It's just it just leads to situations like this. I don't think this server needs to give away anything. Already her information has been handed out by other people without her consent.
Please like and subscribe if you made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day.
Story 4. My parents have joined some New Age religion and wish to relocate me. So I really don't know how to start this, so I'll get right to it. My mom and stepdad are really into New Age science and beliefs. I've never agreed with them on this and didn't know how extreme it was. Recently, though, they've become involved in an extremely weird support group. I say that in quotes because I have no fracking clue who they are. When I'm around, they never mention any group names or what organization they work for or are a part of. Because of this, I haven't had much luck finding out stuff as New Age cult gives too many results to look into. This Monday, my mom and stepdad sat me and my 4 siblings down. They told us that we will be moving at the end of the month to a more stable location within a spiritual community. According to them, they plan to pull all 5 of us, I'm 16 and couldn't think of anywhere else to mention this, out of school here and enroll us in their mind-awakening school wherever we move. I tried to get anything out of them, but they refused to talk to me at all about it. According to them, because I'm still a child in mind, body, and spirit, I need to listen to them and not ask questions. I've been actually freaking out since then and have been trying to get advice, but I've been unable to. They cut off the internet, phone, and TV Tuesday, and they've been keeping a fracking laser focus on me and my siblings since then. I'm currently at a friend's house, and this is the only way I've actually got access to the internet. This seems like a cult 100% to me. Last night, they had 3 people come and talk to me and my siblings, and the stuff they told us was totally crazy. I was talked to alone by an old man who told me about how my mind is closed and that I will slowly learn to open it as my parents have, and that their leaders will love to meet me and put me in their programs. I need to know what the hell I can do here. My dad has shared custody of me, and since Monday, I've had no contact with him. He's supposed to have a call with me every night, but my mom claims he's been informed and supports this 100%. I tried calling him this morning, but he didn't answer. He lives in another state, so it's kind of hard to get into contact with him outside of phone and email. I'm at a friend's house because I was able to leave the house for the first time in a week this morning after I told my parents I wanted to go to the park, but came here and told my friend everything. Her parents are not home, but she's trying to call them, and I plan to stay here tonight if I can. My parents have forbidden me from using the internet because it's full of lies from them. I'm so lost right now, and it makes me sick. I don't want to go with them to this obvious compound, and I need to know what the hell I can do here. Can I just run away, and if my parents harbor me, can they get in trouble? If my mom has been lying about my dad, can he do anything? Thanks. Edit. I talked to my mom and told her because I would be moving soon, and this might be one of the last times I could see my friend. I would like to stay the night, and she said it was okay and that this family was trustworthy not to try and corrupt my view. I got into contact with my dad, and he's ticked. He did not agree and was told I didn't want to talk to him. My 15-year-old sister's dad was told the same, despite the fact he has primary custody and she only spends the summers with us. My sister's dad is going to call CPS too, and I just got done with my call to them, but I won't repeat what they said here. I will be spending the night here, and when my mom asks me to come back tomorrow, my dad has told me not to go back and tell her that he will be flying down to Florida immediately if I don't check in with him or he hears I went back to her. He says that he's already looking into emergency custody. I want to thank my friend's parents real quick because holy hell, they've been great. They both have been great and are working with my dad right now to help me. I also will be going and buying a burner phone tomorrow and withdrawing all my money from the bank. My dad says he will handle getting my stuff from the mom when the time comes. Oh, first of all, I just knew as I was reading this story, when we got to the part of finally contacting the dad, he would have been lied to and would have had no idea that any of this was going on. And you know this is not legitimate because they're cutting off access to information like internet and TV. And they don't even know the name of the cult. I bet if they look that up, they're going to find some really suspect stuff going on the internet. It's probably a very dangerous cult. It's probably on some government lists too. That's my guess. What do you think?
Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.